The mummification of the human body for a bountiful life after death was a central idea that fueled the ancient Egyptian society. In our modern-day culture, these ideas are questionable or by some regarded as a far-fetched fantasy. Because their grandiose funerary architecture and art are so far from our own, we have created imagery and entertainment from this lavish ancient civilization.
Ancient Egypt has a culture that differs from most westernized cultures. Egypt has the most oldest civilizations in the world that maintains its vigor and quality after many centuries and the flooding of the Nile River. The monuments in the pyramid are connected to the afterlife of the king and queen. They are buried with their expensive jewelry and other goods as a good resource in their afterlife. Pyramids are covered in white limestone. The monuments and the artworks in the pyramids make the artwork monumental because of its mysterious to the archaeologists today and how Egyptians were able to make the pyramid 4,000 years ago.
Ancient Egyptian culture is very different from ours. We are fascinated by their technological and architectural advances. Their beliefs and the way they were expressed are what really sets them apart from Greek and Roman culture, and even more so from us. They believed in multiple gods, much like the Greeks and Romans. The difference was in the shape the gods manifested themselves in. Our general belief system has more in common with the Greek and Roman cultures, in which their gods took a human form more often than not. In the ancient Egyptian culture, gods were often represented as being part human and part animal. They were more in touch with the natural world around them, whereas in Greek and especially Roman culture, nature was considered dark, dangerous, and often unpredictable. What we are used to and what we see when we look at the jackal-headed god Anubis or the winged goddess Isis is completely different. There is that disconnect between cultures where one worshipped animals and animal-headed gods and another worshipped gods in the epitome of the human form. We see stoic, unyielding, rigid images of gods and wonder what it might have been like to living under their shadow. It's something completely foreign to our culture as a whole, and so the mystery leaves room for a more open exploration or interpretation of what might have been.
Technology's advances puts us in perspective while thinking about the ancient civilization in Egypt. Since then, technological advances in construction has progressed very fast, and it makes us today realize that in the future, the world would be even more advanced than we can even think of.
We have many iconic structures today, like the White House, the Empire State Building, the Golden State Bridge, Mount Rushmore, and many more that represents our civilization today that may not survive 4,000 years from now. In this century, glass structures are becoming more and more popular in today's society because of its striking appearance and their social worth. Many iconic structures, like Louvre Pyramid in France and the National Center of the Performing Arts in China, are made of glass. Because most structures today are being made of glass, these structures may not survive 4,000 years from now. Sure, they are stable and safe enough for humans to walk around in today, but because of the change of the weather, these buildings and skyscrapers may become more fragile and brittle.